How's it going, David in Comic Book Investments? So in this video, we're going to look at 5 keys that are heating up, going up in price. And some of these on here you suggest. So write in the comments if you want me to check out something, and I will. Maybe I'll go on this one, maybe I'll go on the ones dropping. Who's to say? But one up here is up 114%. But you shouldn't buy it. No, not worth it. It's on a bunch of lists, but no, it's never, definitely don't buy it. All right, first up is we got Web of Spider-Man #1. This is the newsstand variant because someone wanted a newsstand. 9.4 up 98% from 41 to 81, and 9.6 up 2% from 101 to 103, and then 9.8 up 39% from about 6 months ago, selling for about 426, now up to 591. Pretty much this has been trending up. Kind of like paused for a little bit and then went down, kind of back up, but it looks like it's been about the same, right around trending the same for about the last couple year or two. Newsstands are interesting in the fact that they're only really more valuable in the 9.8 to 9.6 range, usually around the 9.4. They're about the same as the direct edition, maybe slightly more. The 9.6s are usually about 25 to 50% more, and then the 9.8s, it varies from book to book, but it could be as much as simply as like a 50% more, 25% more, and it could be up as high as like 2 to 3 times more for a newsstand. That's because newsstands getting a 9.8, they're on the rack, kids go through them, bend them and stuff like that. Another possibility is the later you get in years, the more rare newsstands are, because comic distributors would rather just go direct to market, so they go direct to the comic shops, hence the direct. There is no newsstands anymore. Newsstands don't exist anymore, but they pretty much were about even. I think in the early 90s is when they're about 50-50, 50% direct, 50% newsstand, and then they just slowly dropped off, and pretty much early 2000s they're like 1 to 5% of the market. But yeah, for this one, Web of Spider-Man #1, I don't ever see this as like a big investment. Get yourself a 9.8. It'll always be popular, always be good because it's Spider-Man. It's a really cool cover too. I love this cover, great cover. So always be, but it just won't be that expensive because they just mass produce these so much. So it will never be like in a newsstand 9.8. I don't know the future of it, but in a direct edition, it will never be $1,000 book. At least not for until the dollar just basically becomes worthless. Once the dollar becomes worth not as much as it is, then maybe $1,000. It's like the was it World War I or II or something like that? I think World War I, where it's like people that have wheelbarrows of money in Germany to buy a loaf of bread, or in Venezuela, same thing. Next is Godzilla #1. The 9.4 is up 24% from 140 to 174. 9.6 up 11% from 180 to 200, and 9.8 up 4% from 410 to 427. Yeah, so this is heating up because they're doing a Godzilla anime, and then Apple TV is doing a Godzilla TV show, and I think I saw the trailer for it. I can't remember. I know they're coming out with a new Japanese Godzilla, so I don't know which trailers I've seen. I know I've seen trailers recently of Godzilla, but I mean, the Apple TV could be cool. Could be a cool series. Be interesting how their take on it. The downside is they always want to do things on the cheap. Like, that's the problem. And you have a giant monster. You can't really do that in cheap. And so what they do is they pad the runtime with human interactions. And I'm like, I don't care about the humans. I don't want to see the humans. The humans are the boring part. The cool part is the monster. Obviously, you need the humans to tell a story and to make you care, but it can't just be all monster battles, obviously. But when it comes to a TV show and they're like, oh, we're going to stretch this out over 6 to 8 episodes, each almost an hour long. We can only afford like 20 minutes of Godzilla screen time, battling time. So stretch that out between 6 episodes. And you're like, awesome. So you get like one glimpse of him for like 30 seconds. One cool intro. That's what you're going to get, one cool intro for like a minute or 2 minutes. Oh, cool Godzilla intro. And then you won't get any Godzilla the rest of the episode 1. Then episode 2, pretty much all humans again, building character, maybe a couple scenes of Godzilla, 30 seconds right there. Then episode 3, people are going to get antsy, so you'll put some more Godzilla in there, maybe a couple minutes here and there. And then episode 4, not very much Godzilla. And then episode 5 building up, and then you get like 2 or 3 minutes of Godzilla, and then the final episode 6, you'll get like 10 minutes of Godzilla. I guarantee that's how it's gonna go. It's gonna be somewhere around there. If each episode's about an hour long, 40 minutes, 60 minutes long, you're gonna get probably like 20 minutes of Godzilla screen time between 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours. That's what it's gonna be. So I hate these types of things. So, I mean, if you're gonna do Godzilla, just throw all the money you can on it. Doesn't CGI get cheaper over time? I don't understand. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It just every movie gets millions more dollars, which makes no sense. 0 sense. The Gladiator cost like $70 million to make. That was before CGI, and they had a little bit of CGI, but they had to get all those extras, ship them over from who knows where, because they have to go to film in all these different locations. That costs a lot of money. Then you craft services for every single person, tents, lodging, all that stuff, for hundreds, if not thousands of extras, and they all have to be wearing something, so you need tons of people make, or you get a CGI character back, because they're all in the background anyway, and no one even cares. CGI, just standard gladiator looking person during that time, put in the background. Or they don't have to build a giant coliseum to have people fight in. It's like, oh, let's just CGI that, you're on a soundstage. So it should get cheaper. It shouldn't be expensive. It should stop being expensive. So I don't know what's going on. Next, we got Spidey number 1. No point in doing 9.4. It's not really worth anything. A 9.6 up 114% from $21 to $45. A 9.8 up 34% from $61 to $82. Yeah, this is heating up because Disney Plus is gonna do Spider-Man freshman year, and this series takes place from 2016. Takes place around his early years as Spider-Man, I guess. Nonetheless, this will always be a case cost book. So maybe slightly above for a 9.8, but that's it. That's all it's ever going to be. Don't get yourself a 9.6. Why? This is the type of book, like maybe in the number 1, you could justify getting it cased in a 9.8. I would personally just buy a 9.8 unless you know how to grade perfectly. And then even if you know how to grade perfectly and you send it to CGC, who knows what could come back? Could come back a 9.6. And then you're kind of screwed. So it might be better to get a 9.8, but this will always be a case cost book. Case cost is what it costs to get it cased. The fee, the casing it, shipping there, shipping back, insurance. And if you have to buy a box. This is kind of like the type of book that you should just buy raw and just keep it raw. Why would you want to unless you really like the book and you want a case, that's fine. But in terms of investment, like 10 years will pass, this will be a case cost book. 20 years will pass, it will be a case cost book. And case cost goes up over time. So it's $50 now, $60. It's a sub $100 book for the next 50 years. Next, we got Treehouse of Horror number 1. A 9.4 is up 63% from 86 to 140. A 9.6 up 95% from 128 to 250. A 9.8 is up 31% from 305 to 400. I always like the Treehouse of Horror Simpsons episodes. I mean, I don't watch Simpsons, but I've seen back in the day. They're older than me, pretty much, at this point. So I've seen them throughout my lifetime. I think they're still on. But this has been heating up. I really don't know. I mean, at first I thought, oh, it's Halloween, so this book is going to be popping up. But then I looking at the graph, and it looks like they have a bunch of sales all around Halloween time. That's when they seem to be selling. But beyond that, I don't know. I couldn't really tell you. Next, we got Showcase 73. A 7.5 is up 79% from 112 to 200. 8.5 up 7% from 258 to 275. A 9.2 up 31% from 324 to 425. This is the first appearance of the Creeper. This will always have a special place in my heart because for some reason, when I was a kid, I wanted this book. And so I had this book. And then I think I got Creeper number 1 and like 2 when I was a kid. I don't know why. Probably the cool colors. That's about it. So, special place in my heart. The reason why this is heating up because people know that James Gunn likes the weird oddball characters. This is weird oddball. So, he could be popping up. It's 100% speculation play. But if you look at just like the years that's gone by, obviously no comic boom for this type of book because it's too non-mainstream. But it's been slowly, steadily just going up over time. So it's a good book, safe bet. You're not going to see massive gains. You could buy it on spec play that maybe the creeper shows up in something and sell it, make a nice little boost. The big boost days are gone, so I don't expect this book to like double in price just because they announce it. Those don't really seem to happen as much. If they do, it's like 1 or 2 sales that seem like massive outliers. So you have to be lucky enough to get those 1 or 2 buyers that are willing to pay more than top dollar. So that's it. Have a great day.